How about it, y'all? This is Daniel Nicholson with Nicholson Farms, and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to hang out in the shed for most of the video. It's pretty windy outside, and I've got a topic I want to kind of talk to you about. Some things that I've mentioned before in videos, but I kind of want to go a little bit farther in depth. I went to the feed store today, and I picked us up a new protein tub for our goats, and I kind of want to talk to you about what's in that protein tub, why I get the one that I do versus the one that's there that I don't. So we're just going to kind of dive into it and talk about it and give you a couple price points, a couple vitamin thoughts of mine, and just different things to consider whenever you're buying feed or supplements for your animals. I've talked about it before on mineral and on protein tubs and feed too, about the marketing, putting that goat label on there, goat mineral, goat protein tub, goat feed. A lot of times that is a marketing tool that a lot of these feed mills and other companies use, especially like in a place like Tractor Supply and all those big box stores, because they know the people that come in there caring for their animals. Somebody will buy that protein tub because it says goat on it. Now there are benefits of buying an actual goat protein tub versus a cow tub. But that's going to be in your minerals, and it's up to you to decide if it's really worth it for you. But for me, in my situation, I'm trying to raise these goats for profit. And if I can cut a corner and save a little bit of money, and it doesn't affect the livelihood of my animals and how they produce for me, then it's an option to look at. Sometimes it might not be worth it, and it might not be worth it for you. So we're just going to kind of dive in and talk about some numbers I ran today for the prices of feed at the store and the prices of tubs and what you're actually getting. We're going to start off with the tubs because that's pretty much what I'm going to try to focus on the most. We might do another video eventually on feed and maybe even another one on vitamins. We'll see if this video does well and see how y'all are interested in that. But going into the tubs, so today I bought a 24% crude protein cattle tub. It weighs 200 pounds. They also carry a 20% goat tub that weighs 60 pounds. Both of these products are made by Sweet Licks. I've used both products in the past. I've used the goat tub before. Both of them work well. The goats consume them both well, and I have no complaints. It's just whenever you put the pen to the paper and figure out your price variance, that's when I kind of have an issue with the goat tub. So kind of break it down. A couple weeks ago, I made a video and I touched on this, and I'll leave a card at the end of the video for that video if you missed it. But I talked about the cost difference and things like that, but we're going to go a little farther in depth today. That tub that I put out that was in that video has been out for 40 days now, and it's just about ate up. So I'm going to say that that tub will last me 40 days. And that's what the goat's consuming. 28 head of goats consuming about 5 pounds of that tub per day. It actually lasted a little bit longer than I expected. The way they went at it at first, I thought it was going to be gone in a couple days. But they kind of slowed down as they got used to it. And I guess their nutrition requirements were a little bit different. So we're going to talk about, the price difference in the two. That 24% crude protein tub cost me $64. And if you break that down, you divide it by 200, that's 32 cents per pound. And the 20% goat tub is only 60 pounds, but it was $48. You divide that by 60, that leaves you at 80 cents per pound. And the goats are consuming about 5 pounds of that stuff per day right now. That might change, different times of the year. So I just did my numbers on a 40-day period since that tub lasts me 40 days. On 28 head is which I'm feeding. So one tub of the cow protein tub with the goats eating at 5 pounds per day will cost me about $1.60 per day to feed 28 goats out of that protein tub. Or you break it down either farther, it's 6 cents per head per day, which is not that bad. I think that's really good when it comes down to it. But the goat tub, if I was going to feed the same 40 days, they're going to go through 3.3 of those tubs eating 5 pounds per day. and it's going to cost me $3.96 per day. For 28 goats, that's 14 cents per head. That's a little over double per head to feed them that protein tub. You know, if you're just doing this for, 30, 40 days, and you're really trying to get some nutrients into those goats, it might be worth it for you to go to the goat one. But if you're going to do this a long term, that stuff can really add up pretty quick. So I think I'm going to start trying something different, and that is I'm going to offer this protein tub when our growing season's not happening here in South Carolina. We typically get our first frost about mid-November, a little early November. And, you'll still have some plants growing. A lot of our pastures around here are fescue, so you still have some green plants in there. I mean, even now we still have some green, but those goats need some green or some kind of protein source to digest your roughage, as far as your plants that you leave behind, that you winter stockpile, so they can digest that a little bit better. And so offering this protein tub is going to help them digest the roughage that's left over in our winter stockpile, and they're also going to be able to keep body condition during the winter, and also they're pregnant during the winter. So this is going to kind of tie in double, helping them get through the winter and helping them stay healthy through a pregnancy. And so what I did was I said, going forward, we're going to put our bucks in on December the 1st. This year we did a little bit earlier because me and Maddie's getting married in May, and I wanted all my babies to be born before we went on our honeymoon, so I didn't have to worry about it. But going forward, we're going to start breeding on December 1st, and then we're expecting to have kids May 1st. So December 1st to May 1st is 151 days. So if I was going to use the tubs, to supplement those goats, you just say all through the winter, starting December the 1st till May 1st, when we got good grass and the moms are starting to have babies. With the cattle protein tub, it only cost me $241.60 to have a tub available for them for 151 days. And I guess that's, a little over 3 tubs. I would have some left over, and I'd probably just let them finish it up. But I'm going off per day, per head numbers. With the goat tub, on the other hand, it's $597.96. So you're talking about a $350 difference over 151 days. And to me, the way we do things here, I just can't justify $350 whenever they're getting a little more protein out of that cattle one, because it's 24% crude protein, and they're getting 20% crude protein out of the goat one. So number one, they're getting more protein out of the cattle one, and it's going to save me $350 over that course of time. Now, there are things that I'm going to be giving up during that time, and that is some vitamins that are essential to the goats. The 2 vitamins that I really look for is when I look at labels, whether it's feed, mineral, or anything, it's copper and selenium. And you need both in your goat herd. This is where you're going to have to decide whether it's worth it for you to save some money or either spend some money in order to get these vitamins. The cattle tub only has 45 parts per million of the copper, where the goat has 125 parts per million. So over 50% more in the goat tub. And in your selenium, the cattle tub has 3.3 parts per million and 4.4 parts per million in the goat tub. So there's not a big difference there, but there is a little bit of difference, and that could make up your kidding rate. It can make up several different things. Your health of your animals. Copper is a very important vitamin for goats, where their immune system for fighting off parasites and things. But for our situation, I feel like I'm doing a lot right now to prevent parasites and things like that, where we're rotating our animals every 3 to 4 days when they're here at the home farm, and when they're up there at the lease, they're not there that long. It's a bigger spot and a whole lot better grass. We let that forage grow up a little bit farther. So I'm already doing that. And on top of that, with the copper and selenium, I'm also making Free Choice Mineral available for them 24/7. So they have that source of those vitamins. And for me, it's not worth it to add another $350 in the pot to get just a little bit more into those animals. So that's just a tip on the tubs. going forward, I think we're going to be just using strictly the cattle tubs unless I see a problem occur, and we can save some money that way. So I told you we'd talk about the feed, and we're going to run through it real quick. The video's starting to get a little bit longer than I thought it would. I thought I'd go through this quicker, but I guess I'm rambling. The last time I bought feed at the feed store, I buy it in bulk now. About a year ago, I was still buying it in bags, but you save a lot of money just buying in bulk. Last time at the feed store, I bought a 16% beef conditioner blend. It's got soybean meal, it's got cottonseed meal, it's got cracked corn, it's got some pellets in there, and a little bit of molasses. And it cost me $288.34 per ton whenever I bought it. I bought 1 ton. And that breaks down to 14 cents per pound. And looking at the prices at the feed store today on an 18% meat goat pellet, they didn't have a 16%, so these numbers are a little bit different. And this is a bag price, not a ton price. I don't know the ton price, but for a meat goat pellet in the bag, it was $14.25 per bag. 40 bags makes a ton. That's $570 per ton. I'm sure it's a whole lot cheaper to buy it in ton. I'd say it's probably about $4.50 or something like that. But we're going to go off the bag price today. So that's 29 cents per pound versus the bulk cattle feed, 14 cents per pound. So you can see your price swinging already. On 40 days, I just used the 40-day number again. For 28 heads, feeding them 1 pound per head per day, they'd eat 1,120 pounds on both feed. And on the cattle feed, the 16% beef conditioner, it cost me $156.80. Whereas on the goat feed, it cost me $324.80. And that breaks down to feeding 28 head of the cattle feed, $3.92 per day versus the bag goat feed. I said bag, didn't I? I might have said bad. But bag goat feed at $8.12 per day. So you're over doubling right there on your price. And so kind of our, protocol here, or kind of our plan here, is that we feed for 120 days. That's 30 days before breeding, 30 days after breeding, and then we'll feed 30 days before kidding and 30 days after kidding. And then we run a creep feeder, but I didn't add that in here. So feeding 28 goats, saying 28 goats, the bulk cattle feed for 28 days is going to cost me $470.40 versus the goat feed, $974.40. So you can definitely see, the prices for the stuff that are labeled for goats is a whole lot higher. And there's going to be circumstances, like I said, that you're going to want to use those products that are specifically labeled for goats. But you're just going to have to make the judgment call whether it's worth it for you. And in a livestock operation where you're trying to profit off these animals, it's a serious decision that you're going to have to make going forward. And to me, it's just worth it to go with the cattle stuff for right now until I see a problem. I've been kind of swinging that way for about 2 years now anyways, and I haven't seen any real problems with it. So with that being said, I hope this helped you out a little bit. I'm going to go put that tub out in the pasture and hope the goats enjoy it. And another 40 days, I guess we'll be putting another one out. But I really appreciate y'all hanging out with me today. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. Leave us a comment. Let us know if this video helped you out. Let us know some tips and tricks that that you can put in the comments that somebody else can look at. And if you got any questions for me, please reach out to me. You can email me at nicholsonfarms02@gmail.com or leave a comment in the comment section, and I'd be glad to get back with you. But like I said, we really appreciate it, and we'll see you on the next one.